Hello everybody and welcome back to the Wild at Heart. I am back in the grove. I've rested up. I've got all of my spritlings assembled and I'm pretty much ready to go now. So we can set out from the grove and the marker on our map is telling us to go to the west. So we're going to be going to a new area that we have not explored yet. You're gonna want 20 spritlings total, and you'll want at least 5 twiglings. And just before I go, because I'll forget to mention it if I don't talk about it now, is when I was talking about Crow's Nest's shop in the last video, I failed to mention that you can sell things to him, and whatever you sell to him will show up in his shop. He will sell it back to you. So if we sell a honeycomb for 50 pieces of scrap, we're gonna be able to buy it back from him, but at 200 pieces of scrap. So obviously he's a huge price gouger. So anything that's really, really rare, difficult to get your hands on, I would kind of more or less recommend holding on to it if you can. It might be worth selling one of everything to Crow's Nests if you like, just so that you're able to buy it back from him. Scrap isn't particularly difficult to sort of grind for either, so that is an option. In this difficulty, I don't really think it's too big of a deal. I don't think we're going to be hurting for any sort of supplies. I think we'll be able to craft pretty much anything that we need. I can't speak for the higher difficulty in this game though, however, because I haven't played it. And then before we leave, I'm also going to keep a stack of kettle bombs in my inventory as well. So the day is still nice and young. We should be able to mop up this next section before nighttime, I hope. We're gonna head west past the marker there, and we're gonna use 20 spritlings to move this boulder for us. Which is why I said you needed to bring 20. We'll get rid of these enemies, these gloom caps. You can see that the emberlings make very, very quick work of these enemies. They're very, very strong, which is great. And then I'm going to toss a kettle bomb across over here. Whoops, there we go. Retrieve my twigling, and then retrieve all of my spoils. If you don't have a kettle bomb, it's not a big deal. You can always come back and destroy it later. All it is materials, so it's not the end of the world. You can see that up here, there's not really a whole lot that we can do. At this point, we're kind of facing the problem where every way that we can take is blocked, so we're gonna solve that problem as we head into Rattlebrook Gulch. So we are not going to be finding our next green shield in this area. Wake! What the? Wake! Who's there? I'm a ghost! You abandoned your best friend. I didn't! We were supposed to meet, but I got lost! Yes, you got lost in the woods because you're a dumbass. Also, your haircut is stupid. Boo! Whoops. Wait, Wake. Wake? I'm okay, I think. Kirby? Hi, sorry. What do I do? Maybe the Spritlings can help. Spritlings? The little guys? Okay. Don't worry, Wake, we'll get you out of there. Yes, so we have finally decided to find Kirby. Kind of got forgotten about for a little while here, but Kirby is actually very, very important to our journey. Kirby knows everything that Wake does regarding best adventuring practices. Kirby is also small and can squeeze through very small spaces. So we can now switch between Wake and Kirby depending on what puzzles it is that we need to solve. And so she becomes kind of our second protagonist and our second controllable character. So we're gonna have to work together. And you can just switch between the two characters using Y. I'm going to toss over... I think I'm actually gonna give her all 10 of the twiglings here. Because Kirby will need a few of these guys to help her fight. Obviously, we have to clear these mushrooms. And then we're gonna come over here and step on this switch. And that will reunite the two. Kirby, I have so many things to tell you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave you alone. I'm a total dingus-brained, fart breath, booger face, butt person. Duh. Well, I'm here now. I forgive you, you big idiot. I was really scared that something would happen to you. Hey, wait a second. How exactly did you get here? That's, well, wow. I have a lot to tell you. What do you mean, how? I tracked you, duh. I saw that weird tree, went through it. You did? Yeah, it was easy. Why? Oh, and there were a bunch more of these helpful little guys. Some of them are made of plants and others are made of this. Well, I actually don't know what they're made of. But they really liked me and they followed me around and we played a bit and then... Kirby? What's that? Just random lantern sitting in the middle of nowhere. I think I saw that at the Green Witch Catafalque. What? Yeah, long story. Kirby, wait. Ooh, shiny. I think it likes me. Whoa, check it out. Is that thing safe? What do you think it does? I don't know, but it sure feels safe to me. We should try it out. Huh, okay, if you say so. Let's go see what it can do. Wow, I still can't believe you found me. I have so much to tell you. And we are being watched by that ominous looking figure. So this lantern is called the Warden's Way. And so Kirby actually gets two different abilities. She can go through small spaces and she can get rid of all of the corruption growths and interact with old warden statues. And Wake pretty much just gets his vacuum. So we're gonna test her lantern out. You can see if she uses the lantern on those bulbs of corruption, they will completely disappear. And that obviously means that we have a lot of places to backtrack to. There was a lot of that stuff laying around in all different sorts of places, and we couldn't get to many of it, so. Now we can kind of just carry on. This area is pretty short. If you get stuck here and it's nighttime, there are not only lots of lanterns laying around, but there is that campfire that you can go to and just rest until daytime if necessary. So this area is kind of just nice tutorial to show how to work the two characters together, how to do partner switching, and figure out how to make progress. So before we get Kirby to go through those logs there, there's a little hidden area to the south here where we can hop down. And we have a nice treasure chest here with some heartroot resin inside of it. We also have a cat over here. So this is where we need a few of our twiglings. We've used them already, but we wouldn't be able to rescue Litterbox's cat here if we didn't have a few of the twiglings. Growing this lily pad bridge is kind of optional. We don't need to do it, but we might as well do it while we're here. So it's kind of a nice little area just to pick up some sweet loot. And let's see. So we're gonna send Kirby. I sent her through the wrong log. We're gonna send her through these logs. Sometimes it's trial and error just to figure out where it is you need to go. So I'm gonna have Wake send her all the twiglings over onto this side here. Twiglings obviously will not follow her, or any other type of spriteling for that matter, will not follow Kirby through tight spaces as she travels through these logs. So you just have to come up with creative ways to try and get any of the spritelings to her. So you can see there, it did take a little bit of maneuvering, but we were able to make a new way forward. Remember to throw them back down to that middle section. Reunite with Wake, and then we can use either one of them to rescue the rest of these guys that were stranded. That's a total of 3 treasure chests in this area. This place was absolutely loaded with loot, which is really nice. We've got lots of scrap, we've got lots of glint. And from what I recall, this is pretty much the only time that we have to come to this area. Because I rescued Litterbox's cat, we don't have to come back. We got all the treasure chests. And we're almost home free. Just one more thing to do, and that is to get Kirby to use her lantern on this statue here. And if she finds one of these statues and uses her lantern, it'll clear up any of these green gates that we've seen. And I think we've seen maybe just the one in our travels. I believe we saw it over in Wispwagon. And that's it. So that's a complete loop of this area. I think we picked up oh my god, I missed a poor little Spriteling. Aw, buddy, I'm not going back for you. That's too far. I'm sorry. I guess I should have checked. Aside from the one Spriteling that we're going to leave behind, we've pretty much completed this whole area. I do wonder, I should test this out, because I don't think I've actually used these little recall stones. Now it says in this area, so I can try and recall the Twigling, but because I'm not in the area, it looks like it's not gonna work. So that's kind of a bummer. For an area like Rattlebrook Gulch, where I don't have that option, you really just better make sure that you haven't left any of them behind. But it's one single Twigling. I'm not all that worried. I can just hatch another one. We are going to be resting at a campfire soon anyways, so I'll be able to get all of my team in order for our next day. So obviously now that we have Kirby, we can clear up this little area that we saw before we entered, and that will be our next location. I'm just gonna go past these guys, I think. Don't need to fight them. Gather up a bit of stuff here and carry on. Alright, so we are now in the Sunken Grotto. Now this is kind of a long area, so I'm definitely going to be resting up as soon as I hit the first camp that we see. We also have a portal here, which is nice. So we can easily get in and out of this area if we need to go back to the Grove or anywhere else. There is a journal page. We have ourselves one of these recall stones. And then we have the camp pretty much immediately right as we walk in, which is wonderful. That's exactly what we want. So this area is going to take quite a bit of time to get through. There's a lot of partner switching. So I'm definitely going to rest up. I do not want to be stuck in here in the dark. And periodically, when you rest now, Kirby and Wake will have conversations about their adventures. So, you might have noticed that Greycoat has a wooden arm. I didn't at first, but he has a wooden arm. So that's what they're talking about. I am actually rather surprised that the game didn't warn me that there was a wayward sprite in the wild and that I would lose it if I went to bed. But it didn't, so we're gonna just probably have to hatch another one to make up for the one that we lost. No big deal, not too worried about it. I'm going to just assemble my team, maybe craft a couple of things, get ready to go, and we will start exploring the Sunken Grotto in the next video. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.